Gentlemen, hopping right into the action so we don't waste any time. FaZe going against 100T, the rematch of this Friday Fortnite series tonight. Of course, whoever wins this, moving to the grand finals to play against King Richard and Aimbot Calvin. And already off the jump, we're seeing both teams mirror each other with the Valhalla drop. Let's see how it's going to work out for the two of them.
Oh, surprise inside of the hay bales as Tfue will unfortunately drop most of his HP, a quarter of his HP still left alive, and well, he's going to have to try to surround himself with some warmth from Cloaksy, hopefully finding some bandage or something along the lines. But I don't know, was that a worthy exchange to drop a fourth of your health for one elimination? I mean, at least for right now, it's working out. We'll see how long-term it works out in FaZe's favor.
Sometimes you just get surprised in those hay bales. You know, you think everything's fine, and instead of a needle in a haystack, you know, it's unfortunately a guy with a 12-gauge shotgun waiting for you behind there. Weird holiday experience for all of us here. Stephen Cloaksy enjoying the sights up here. I'm talking full-blown snow, of course, in this Viking village, as I'm going to call it, because everything's got to be two names in this game. But Valhalla, still, it's cool, but, you know, it's a Viking village. I don't know, Taylor. I'm just going to throw it out there. But two eliminations after Stephen Cloaksy, of course, Kenneth and Parallax. No eliminations.
Kenneth.
Yeah, I like what I saw there from Kenneth and Parallax. They got the knock, and then finally the elimination, running down the hill. They wanted it, and we're super hungry for it. But, you know, the question is, Tfue, he is incredibly weak. He's going to be in a fight himself, of course. If he takes one shot, he will, in fact, go down. But a knock and another elimination in the hands of at least Tfue and Cloaksy. They're sitting at 3 on the right side, still at 0. Not anything for them, as I thought that that knock and elimination was something that was going to benefit them, but then I guess it doesn't. But already hitting, as the rotation is going down, Kenneth, he's going to be heading over towards soccer field. Parallax, where's he? He's going to be going to soccer field himself. I'm quite surprised. I figured a Snobby rotation would be underway.
Well, that's one thing, too, is that if you go towards Snobby Shores, you have the worrisome part about saying, hey, Snobby Shores is basically to try to solidify, like I said, one elimination, like one overall squad elimination at the very most. You're not going to really find too much more than that. So I think by going Snobby in the situation, they'd actually kind of be messing up a little bit of their future for the rest of this game, because the Parallax are thinking late game, hey, we're going for the majority of the kills rather than probably a squad in the future. However, though, they actually go toward past a few other places. They go straight toward Tilted Towers. This is a very big opportunity because they are wanting to get into this game quick, and they're wanting to get into this game fast. They realize is when you're facing off against a squad like FaZe, not just in Friday Fortnite, but in scrims, constant matches that they're facing off against this team, they know their pace, they know their play style, and they say, hey, we understand what their call is here to do is to kind of play the passive role and find eliminations along the way. We think we can do that, but at a much extended rate, and we'll see how long and how well that strategy is going to serve them.
And, of course, you're seeing Kenneth and Parallax finding some opposition here in Tilted, of course, trying to combat those players moving over from Brick as well as that nice little divot area. And, of course, he's going to spot another player literally completely out of ammo. But 2 rounds, and you're going to see Kenneth go down so early. Will his teammate be able to save him from it? And, of course, Parallax with an amazing clip, making sure that Kenneth has got at least another few seconds of life here, as he's also got a medkit in the back pocket, of course, sitting at 80 HP himself. But let's talk about Tfue up there. 4 kills apiece now for him and Cloaksy. Looking pretty good here, as it's going to be a solid 8-4 lead.
Yeah, mind you, Tfue was just at a sliver of health, and it was kind of weird because Cloaksy was at a sliver of health himself. He was in the back. If Tfue goes down, Cloaksy has to come up to try and eliminate the opponents for the res. But
the FaZe.
Luckily for him, though, Tfue is is an expert at what he does. He's professional, so he was managed to come through and get the kills. And, of course, another happy ending for Kenneth himself as he manages to get rezzed, get picked up, and get an elimination himself, keeping the score 8-4. So it looks like FaZe will have a little bit of an event, or 8-6 now, as we're going to see a little bit of an advantage for the FaZe boys. But Kenneth and Parallax overall going toe-to-toe with them. Now, the thing that they have is they have the rotation ahead of Tfue and Cloaksy. So that is one thing that is going to Tfue and Cloaksy are going to have to kind of, fight against. But as of this point, pretty even.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I'm curious what the call is now for FaZe Clan, because normally, right, we talk about typical strategy once you've gone towards Snobby Shores is to either go Greasy Grove, it's to go toward Tilted Towers. In that situation, the high majority of the 2 has already been taken until the towers. 100T is without question wiping the floor with anyone who happens to be around this area. So where does Tfue and Cloak kind of go from here? Like, what's the overall strategy call? It looks like they're going to be going toward the southern part of Valhalla and hitting up Greasy. So or soccer field, right? Whichever one of those 2 of those locations, which could add up to a little bit of success from time to time. And it looks like Tfue is going to go and drop off Cloaksy to go and grab a few shields, maybe to try to search around this particular area, grab up some mats, a little bit of those resources, and they could be actually splitting here, which I think isn't a bad idea. considering the map advantage that you could argue Hunter T has at this moment, maybe they split up, try to get a little bit of a strategy change up. Maybe one hits up Soccer Field, one hits up Greasy Grove to try to find maybe a squad apiece and then kind of move forward from there. I don't know what the play call would be, but I think it'd be interesting for them to try something out like that.
FaZe with that zoom too. You got that purple scoped AR in the back pocket. Obviously, we always see Cloaksy or Tfue keeping this weapon. When it comes to zoning, when it comes to keeping players a little bit afraid to peek with those headshots, even if they got a sniper rifle, he's got that in his pocket. Unfortunately, no splodes, though, for that grenade launcher, so that's going to be interesting. He's going to continue looting here, trying to get some nice RNGs. He can make his way through, but Tfue, once again, doing the same thing. Of course, he's got that beautiful little cart there to bait. And Kenneth and Parallax now taking the rifts themselves, just trying to rotate around the map and spot some players so they can catch up here, only down by one elimination.
Yeah, not a lot, obviously, as they're going to be pushing out across Loot Lake towards maybe Salty, Dusty area. We'll see where they'll eventually end up at, but looks like Kenneth, he's kind of dipped over to the left here. We'll spot a player just ahead. Of course, that player looked like he was getting into a chest, so I think he's going to come up right behind somebody, potentially. Yes, he will. We'll see if he'll be able to pick up. No, that's just going to be an ATK. Players just up at it. I don't think they know he's here. Does Kenneth know they're there? I was for sure.
Parallax just knocked him in the water.
Okay, was it Parallax?
Yeah,
so
Parallax just bodied him.
I was wondering why, because I was like, why is he going all the way over there? Of course, it was going to be an engagement, but he doesn't end up getting him one. But luckily for him, we will find an ATK, and then Parallax himself will find a half pot, as well as maybe some potential engagements in the future. But Tfue and Cloaksy splitting up, right? That doesn't surprise me. That's something that they've been doing throughout the maps overall. So we'll see, though. Tfue will be in an engagement, Landon.
And one thing that's very important to mention, too, Tfue was debating on going toward Tilted Towers. He kind of has to change up his strategy overall. Thankfully, he finds a rift. It was trying to make his way towards Salty Springs. Happens to find a squad here. So the overall idea of what FaZe is trying to do has totally been messed up based off of 100T's play. The nice knockdown comes through off the bat. Here comes the second potential that could be coming forward here from Tfue. The nice excess shots coming in from the common assault rifle, but a shot is anything but that. Player has to try to dip out, trying to stay alive, because if he tries to engage, it's not going to be a very happy ending for him. I believe one player just tried to escape out of the ATK. I thought that he actually hit that shot with the hunting rifle in the ATK. Just happened to get the official elimination onto one player in front of him, but there's still an enemy here. No Mats to Tfue's name, 20 HP and a dream. Quickly has to go for the med kit, because if not, he is going to be eliminated from this game, and that's going to totally throw a wrench in the setup for him to stay alive.
He's dead. He's gone.
Oh my gosh, Tfue was about a half a second away, maybe even a full second away from getting off that med kit and re-engaging. Will get taken down to whatever that random player was thinking in that situation. Right place, right time, 1v2, and now it's another opportunity. Right, 100T, a massive advantage in the rematch versus FaZe.
And I actually think that that player was one of the players on the ATK that he was trying to take shots at with the hunting rifle. Flanked around, saw that he was by himself. After he saw those multiple eliminations, that ends up killing him. But Cloaksy, he's no stranger to having these types of comebacks here for himself in terms of Mr. Tinley. Does he have stickies? Oh my goodness!
All three of them!
All three of them killed! Great play from Cloaksy. Insane gameplay here with those. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say with the plungers.
Those guys they were just making the way through the ramp. And Cloaksy's like, oh yeah, I have these plungers. Let me make you guys all unicorns.
Oh, by the way, enjoy this.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely explosive play, quite literally there, Taylor. That was unbelievable. Like, in that situation, I think that's the last thing he was expecting to see. Three players just on a dead set route to climb up that staircase.
They were just having a good time, man. They were just like, you know what? There's a ramp. Let's see if we can climb it. And yeah, you can climb it. Unfortunately, there's a Cloaksy waiting for you at the top with plungers. So hey, nothing you can do in that situation. But obviously, Christmas came early, as now he's going to be sitting at 8 total kills, 14-9, as he'll continue that lead, padding the stats just a little bit. Kenneth himself in a fight, and he's going to clean up that kill as well. So gotta say, back and forth action between the two, and this is what we saw in their first match. But Tfue dropping, honestly, like you said, nothing that Cloaksy kind of isn't used to at this point. At least he's been performing incredibly well. They've both been splitting up. So Cloaksy, he's used to playing solo. Yeah. Even if Tfue was still alive, they still would have been split up.
I would say, too, when it comes into this tournament, we have seen a very high rate of FaZe players dropping, which is not at all a normal situation, at least when we talk about Tfue and Cloaksy, right? I think we might have seen Tfue and or Cloakzy drop 2 or 3 times, being fully eliminated in this tournament, which is probably the highest since you could say like a very early, like the week 3, week 4. And you see this Cloakzy waiting for the res, has the C4 in his back pocket to solidify that he can grab all of these kills. He got a 3-piece with the clingers. He's about to do it in the exact same way with the C4. This guy's going for the res, and he hears the explosions going off. There is 3, and there is about to be an entire squad swipe. What an unbelievable play coming in from Cloakzy, now up to 12 eliminations. Explosive play and dominant play at that.
You want to talk about veteran gameplay here. I mean, the patience that it takes for you to not just want to try to get that pop shot off. Waited for him to get that knock healed up, that revive, so you could then eliminate the whole team. Those C4s, although you got to wait for him to plop, I mean, that guy stuck it. At that point, I'm leaving Buddy on the ground and trying to dip.
Oh, my gosh.
Just exploded that ATK. I thought it would do a lot of damage and at least blow him up like in other video games, but it didn't. As there's still going to be a live C4 going out, try and blow it down the walls as Parallax now is going to find all of them. He does have 2 knocks, trying to finish off with the eliminations. Kenneth dropping down below as well. As this team really, there's not a lot of legs for them to stand on. There it is. The buildings aren't going to go away. The final kill is, in fact, going to go down. And there it is. All of them drop. And all the loot on the ground is now 2 players left on the map. They're all going to be searching. But, you know, Cloakzy got a little bit carried away there. He was deep in the storm and still.
Did he lose his ATK?
He must have lost his ATK at some point.
Maybe he just left it because he's got bounce traps. I don't really know.
No, definitely. I think he lost it. Then again, maybe you're right. Maybe he
based
did
off
hit
like
mountain,
based off of like where he is in Tilted Towers, it could have been a factor of like maybe he doesn't have anything to climb with the weapon, like no structures to kind of cement that. So thankfully, he does have the bouncer traps, but not a whole lot of HP to his name. As he's got to make a very far jaunt when it comes down to this new zone. Thankfully, we'll be able to stay alive, but to no avail. You see Kenneth the Parallax. They're going to totally do their best to try to counter any strategy coming through from Cloakzy. Any potential kills that he could be going for right now, they're going to be on a race to try to counter that. Parallax just in front of him. A full-on rush. A bush happens to be hiding on top of a ramp, and he is quickly eliminated. Love Ranger 281. We'll see you later. Welcome to the reloading screen, and welcome to your teammate also being there as well. Huge kills toward the end. Another squad swipe coming through from 100T as they're going to finish off with 16 kills. Parallax 10 himself. Wow, that was unbelievable play. We also give massive credit to Cloakzy. 2 different situations when there is a full squad in front of him, and he uses the clingers, he uses the C4 to find 7, 8 kills toward the end. That without question keeps FaZe in the game and keeps them in a prime situation heading into game number 2.
And that's why these top players do not pass up on any sort of explodes whatsoever. I mean, we see those C4s in action. We saw those clingers with that squad. That unfortunate squad just trying to have a fun time with that ATK. Goes straight up the ramp that he built and then gets a clinger to the forehead on pretty much all 3 of them at that point. They just exploded on impact. That ATK blows up, kills them all, and then he waits for the res, drops the C4, and then just Cody explodies the whole squad.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously something you didn't want, especially if you're just trying to have fun. But Cloakzy, he wanted it, obviously, and he kept FaZe in it. I believe they're going into game number 2 with the 2-kill lead, and that's all left up to Cloakzy. Obviously, unfortunately, Tfue dropped a little bit earlier, but obviously going Lazy Links, that is a dominant area to be going to right off the rip. That's something that kind of surprised me because typically FaZe tends to be a little bit more passive. Obviously, when they went to the outside of Lazy Links in that one game against, it was against Triceps, right? Yeah, Triceps and Vixen.
And we also been seeing them go outskirts Paradise Palms, too.
Which works out really well. The outskirts is the way to go for FaZe, but just dropping a hot drop straight in, it was a bit testy, but luckily Cloakzy made it out.
New season. They want to flex. You know, Season 5's out. They're ready to hot drop. Obviously, they dominate in that area. For some reason, there's been a scar in everybody's hand for every match we've seen today.
I'm
just saying, like, the blessings are pouring in right now with the great loot. So, especially C4s and clingers.
That's it.
Yeah, and I don't really know, like, when we look at this future game, like, since FaZe has been dropping early in a lot of their matchups, I think that's the reason why we're seeing so many change-ups, like, overall. Like, hey, we've been going Paradise Palms. Maybe we change something up. Even though they've been winning quite a few of their games, I think that's the reason why we're not seeing them stick to one strategy. And, of course, along with that as well, it's a new season. Season 5 has introduced multiple locations, getting rid of some, adding others. And I think along with that, we could be seeing them change up a lot of their overall calls based off certain things. But I want to point out here quickly, you actually see Cloakzy and Tfue currently communicating. They're watching the back of the bus, and what they're trying to do is gauge how many players are going to be where. And probably based off of how many players drop early is what they're thinking coming into this game. They're thinking, okay, how many players dropped early? Based off of that, this is what our strategy is going to be. And according to how many players have dropped early, it's fair to assume Tfue and Cloakzy are going to be going for more of a passive play. They're making their way toward Lazy Links, which you're not going to have as many aggressors. There's still going to be quite a few teams here, but not as many as they're going to be in Paradise Palms. So I like this play coming through for them. They realize, hey, the passive play is what we're typical toward. It's what's obviously seen as 4 championships already so far throughout Friday Fortnite. Let's stick to our guns. Let's stick to what's worked in the past and go toward an area that's going to have quite a few teams, but not nearly as much if they would have dropped early. So I love that play call coming through from them and the decision-making to always watch the back of the bus when it comes down to their landings.
Meanwhile, Kenneth the Parallax landing just a little bit north of where you pretty much saw almost everybody drop down there from Paradise Palms. I literally think I saw 40 or 50 drop right out of that bus. So what they're going to do is probably rotate over to Salty, get some great loot, and then go back and try to zone in and kill those that are going to be coming north from that Palms area. So depending on where the circle goes, this could be actually super advantageous to Kenneth the Parallax. If not too many teams go Lazy Links, that's going to be a bad predicament for them. Luckily, there's an ATK that spawns in there, so they'll be able to cover ground quickly, maybe find a rift. But to start out, I think Kenneth the Parallax definitely have a good opportunity here being in Salty Springs.
And also reflecting back to previous matches, Kenneth and Parallax, when they did beat Tfue and Cloakzy, it was because of this Salty drop. They were landing just to the outskirts of Salty, pushing into Salty, getting a quick little inventory, and then pushing out and catching those people on the flank coming in from Desert, but they also hit up the Dusty as well. So with that being said, honestly, they're back in their home, and I expect a lot from them. But, of course, it all comes down to Cloakzy and Tfue. Will they make it out of Lazy Links this time as opposed to last time? And just with a common pistol, Cloakzy is still mowing players down just on the other side of this pool area. They're going to make a little split here. They're going to try and finish off the teammates straight ahead, or their opponents rather straight ahead, as those double pistols have never looked so good as they have in the hands of Tfue.
And I'm glad on occasion we're actually being able to listen to a few of the players when we go to them, obviously in full screen. Shout out to production for doing that. But one thing that's very important to notice, and I'm glad that we actually get to hear it, is actually Cloakzy's overall play, right? Whenever he's in a game, one thing that I love about him, and one thing that I would personally pick him, like we've been doing fantasy drafts around the office, and I've been saying I want Cloakzy first pick 100%. Reason why I want him is we transfer in here to Hunter T, who are actually in quite a few engagements at the moment. Kenneth finding a few just on the outskirts here of this gas station. One player gets impulsed into another direction, as it looks like it could be Kenneth finding quite a few of these kills at the same time. Parallax responding with 3 eliminations in total. But getting back to, as we actually hear a little bit of Kenneth and Parallax overall communication, that's the reason why I think Cloakzy and Tfue have so much success, is their communication as well. Cloakzy's overall presence around the map to give callouts, to give specific moments as far as where players are, how one-shot they are, and to give specific yet like highly detailed callouts in short terms is something that you can't teach to a certain player. He has to learn that over time. And coming from prior BR games, the history that these guys have together, their communication and their overall presence as a duo is only getting better each and every week of Friday Fortnite.
Another knock in the hands of Tfue, plus the final elim. As with that, they're going to tie up the game once again. We saw 1 kill lead for Kenneth and Parallax, but fighting back is going to be the FaZe boys. Man, it's going to be another close one between these two, as we can see so far. Now, one thing about Tfue is he doesn't have as many mats as we're used to seeing him have. He ran out a little bit earlier. Luckily, picked off that kill. But 131 in his possession. Hopefully, he'll be able to find more as we go. That's Cloakzy. But Tfue is going to be breaking off with the ATK himself, as we're going to see yet again another split between the two. These guys have been splitting up left and right, and it's been working throughout this tournament. But, of course, when you split, you also add at least a little bit of risk, as one player will go down, and then of course you cannot res the other one if you're split up at least too far. So a lot of dependence on your teammate, but Cloakzy putting so much damage on this player ahead. Little frustration coming out from him. Another player pushing down. So will he be able to finish him off? Taking some damage, a lot of health being taken away. Of course, he's got to be careful. Will the edit come out?
He also has no ammo in his pump shot, so he can't really rely on the shotty up close. Has to go for the burst here to solidify the kill.
We talked about splitting up, obviously. Will it pay off in this situation? But this player is going to get him. And will the will the final elimination come in? No, not Tfue. Comes in with the ATK. And just like that, will save the life of Cloakzy. You talk about a clutch play. That player, by the way, wanted the final elimination on him. And he's not going to get it.
It's so interesting when you're playing these pub matches, Taylor. For some reason, instead of shooting the guy that could potentially keep you alive in the game, they just go for that down. Like, what's the point of that? I don't even understand. Like,
stats.
What's up with the thirst, bro? You know,
it's all about those stats.
Calm down a little bit.
All about that final elimination. Hey, you know, when it comes to these tournaments, whenever it comes to watching these streamers, these Friday Fortnites, a lot of the public players themselves have kind of adapted to. They want to get the elimination as soon as possible. You can owe it up to these streams and these Friday Fortnites. It's kind of the strategy that's worked out overall. Would it have been smarter to kill Tfue? Absolutely. But, hey, it's just the kind of mentality that's been set forth, at least when it comes to Fortnite. But now on your screen is going to be Kenneth as he's trying to engage on his player and just lasers him down. He gets the knock, and, of course, the full elim will come in a little bit later as he's got a little bit more work to do. Another player straight ahead inside the store.
And everyone except Parallax has kind of got an average inventory, to be 100% honest with you. We're seeing those tax machine guns, obviously, so nasty. A couple of them have got the purple in the pocket. We see that scar in the hands of Parallax, but basically, both squads have been doing a lot of damage here with almost nothing. We've seen Tfue running around with those Akimbos and a shotgun for the majority of the game, not even an assault rifle, and he's still rocking 4 kills. So that's going to be 6 total. But if we're looking at the scores, guys, Kenneth Parallax now, I think, are in the lead.
I believe so.
Not too sure. I haven't calculated as of yet. Of course, we'll get an updated scoreboard, but they might be. They got to watch out. They are still taking some damage, but look at the accuracy from Parallax. We're hearing some communication, though, as Kenneth just saying, stay alive. I'm going to be coming up behind, getting that flank. Great communication overall, and that's exactly what you need if you want to take the game over the FaZe boys especially. You have to be on point in every way. But look at this. 2 players are going to be right in front. Parallax doing a great job avoiding some damage. Places the trap down. Does he get it with the trap?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He gets double knockdowns.
He gets a double knock and a double elim with that trap, showing Parallax, hey, heads up play on his part, the composure coming in, and that's what separates him from an amateur player to a pro.
Oh, my gosh.
There's moments like that where you realize, I didn't even know I had a trap in my inventory when you're playing at an average level like we would be at that point. But, of course, he knows every little bit, every part of it. Parallax,
fading
an
trap.
amazing play. And, of course, they are just extending their lead here as we're going into this game. 13 now for them, as it's going to be 9 for Tfue and Cloaksy. Remember, they came in 100 Thieves down 2 into this game, too, so they are winning, in fact, by 2 now. A ton of engagements left. 20, actually, sorry, math is hard again.
18.
We're talking 15 now.
Yeah, 15
Or now 15.
eliminations still available when it comes down to things, like you said. But one thing that I thought was very interesting through a lot of this kind of retail road dissection that we saw here coming through from 100T was their constant ability to realize once they didn't have a particular enemy to face toward next was kind of not necessarily like building up in 1-by-1s, but having overall the height advantage. Like there were a lot of situations where it was like, okay, Parallax not seeing anyone. Why is he building up himself in a 1-by-1? The reason why they're trying to do that is to have the height advantage, to have, if anyone tries to aggress them, they know and that they have the ability to kind of cradle up inside of their fort. They have the ability to also try to expand upon shots to see from, you know, an upward point of view. So I like what we saw from Kenneth and Parallax. Of course, we got to hear the communication intertwined with a lot of those fights. But yeah, I just really like their overall play, their ability to kind of rush things at certain times, and they're both rocking the 100T jerseys too. Got to give a lot of respect for that. Those things are absolutely sick. I need to buy one myself, but yeah, man, they're definitely got the synergy right now. Like I said, they're rocking the team jerseys in the game, and they're rocking the team jerseys in real life too. I don't know what percentage that equals out to in team chemistry.
43 actually.
43%.
Calculated earlier. 43% better chemistry. Of
That's
course,
a record.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, and they're also wearing the matching outfits in real life. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I never go to the club with my bros without matching. It's just what we do. And when we hit that Orange Justice on the dance floor, the world's in shock, honestly, at just how quality it is. But, of course, Kenneth the Parallax doing a great job here trying to separate the distance in terms of lead that they've got going on here against Tfue and Cloaksy. Enough eliminations potentially remaining in this game for this to be a rather close one, as we keep seeing here with how separate these populated areas are. These last 30 eliminations are taking, I feel like, almost double the time they've taken in the past year in Season 5, which means if you're wanting to get some kills, you might want to drop a little bit earlier here in some of these hot spots, and that's what we saw Tfue and Cloaksy do, somehow staying alive in Lazy Links.
And we're seeing 2 splits between the 2 teams, and obviously this needs to be done. I think 100T kind of answering to what Tfue and Cloaksy is doing, because obviously with the score being so close with only a 2-kill lead for Kenneth and Parallax, they need to kind of mirror what Tfue and Cloaksy's thrown out there, and they're doing just that. Of course, luckily they're going to find a rift and be able to get that high ground, whereas Tfue and Cloaksy stay on the ground themselves. They're going to stay grounded, moving their way into Fatal Fields, playing that gatekeeper role, but we do see Tfue building up. C4 is out. A team is going to be just ahead, and there's going to be 3 up as he does knock one. Doesn't go for the full elimination. Another player trying to push just above him. Great shot out of the air as he does get that knock, and the final just ahead, and that's going to be 3 in his possession. And just like that, they overtake the lead, and they are now going to be up 1 kill over Kenneth and Parallax. Parallax.
What great intuition. They're coming from Tfue. Of course, he takes down one and probably a bullet away from dropping the second near the doorway, but realizes which engagement is most important, which one he can be taken down from. Like I said, shuts down the ramp, gets that player to some fall damage, and literally in the middle of the air, after taking down that ramp, hits the guy in the face with a shotgun pellet, then immediately focuses his fire onto the final enemy. Fantastic awareness and great overall kind of situation awareness coming through from Tfue, as he's now up to 8 eliminations in total, as I think he's got not the most in the game right now, actually tied with Kenneth at 8 eliminations in total right now. So 2 very heavy hitters for the time being, but guys, a game coming down to the wire.
And guys, this is an important match. Whoever wins this will automatically get an increase in prize money of $4,000. So a lot riding on the line, plus the chance of getting into the grand finals to play it out for a total of 10. We'll see who is, in fact, going to make it to play in the grand finals against Aimbot Calvin and King Richard. But FaZe going for that back-to-back title. Will they have the opportunity, or what? The newly founded team here of Kenneth and Parallax of 102 came into Friday Fortnite. We didn't even expect them to be here. Now they're here, and they're showing dominant fashion. It's all come down to these last remaining kills. We're seeing a total of 7 still remaining. And obviously, guys, they are running. They are pushing forward to try and find them. RNG now is going to play at its finest.
Yeah.
We'll see if that. But of course, we see Tfue, right? He's extremely
Oh,
close,
I
but
love
luckily
that.
he blocks it off. But no, Kenneth is going to follow straight behind into that rift to see if they can spot any of the players. But he's going to stay right behind Tfue. But one thing that I do know at this point, if Tfue finds the player, Kenneth, he's going to be a little bit far behind, and it looks like there it is. Tfue is, in fact, going to be in hot pursuit of the players just ahead, and he's got free reign, taking some damage, building up. That's all right. He's going to get some shot. No, Tfue, he's going to drop down. Kenneth is going to be behind. Will Kenneth come and capitalize and find these kills and be able to get them? Let's see it. Will FaZe be knocked out of this tournament and finish in 3rd place? To see Kenneth getting that high ground. Got just above that player, fires a shot. Will he be able to get some damage? 53 shield off. Another shield is going to be off. Another shield. How many shields does this guy have? And there it is. Finally, the knock is going to happen. Will the elimination come in? Yes, it will. And, of course, we see that finally. So we're going to see they're going to tie up the game overall. Tfue has been absolutely eliminated. Kenneth and Parallax free reign. And so now it's going to be a 2v1. Cloakzy trying to keep FaZe. Will Cloakzy single-handedly push FaZe into the finals? Let's find out.
Well, indeed. Nice shots coming through from Parallax as they're teaming up right now. Cloakzy is on the other end of this fight, so that could be solidified eliminations going toward Cloakzy. The bounce trap fading shot coming in from Kenneth as he's taking a little bit of damage, trying to stay alive. Player just toward his right side. Cloakzy is intertwined in all of this. At the bottom side, though, we do see an elimination come through from Parallax. Big moments coming through from 100T. We talked about it. Can they take down FaZe? Not once, but twice. The shot from Kenneth. He enters in toward the top side, gets the edit through, and this could be the opportunity at 3. This could do it. 100T. Can they take down FaZe? Not once, but twice in just one tournament. Expiring shots coming through. Parallax fighting for one. And on the opposite end, Kenneth knows he's around. He knows he's here. At the same time, though, Cloakzy finds one. And Cloakzy, can he find the second? No. It's actually stolen from Parallax. At the same time, Kenneth finds one from above. While we are fighting back and forth, this kill from Kenneth could be it right here. Low on HP, 15 to his name. At the same time, Cloakzy's finding some. Kenneth falls 1 versus 1. Parallax versus Cloakzy. We'll try to get a scoreboard update to you guys as soon as we possibly can, but it is coming down to the wire. Only a few eliminations remain. Actually, it happens to be 1 player left. What's the score? What's happening?
Oh my gosh, look at the Taj Mahal just straight ahead as it looks like Cloakzy is trying to shoot it down to get any player to die from fall damage. As we're going to see Kenneth, he's going to be screaming as Parallax is pushing up. And Cloakzy as well too. Who is going to get the high ground? The building is falling. Who's going to be falling down with it? Looks like nobody as of yet. Parallax pushing forward. Cloakzy shooting shots down with the AR. Parallax is going to get it! And I believe that is going to be 100T moving on in a tournament as they just won it by mere kills.
2. I think it was a 2.
And it's a 2-kill lead. Potentially
2-kill lead, I believe.
100T
for 100T to be able to get out of that.
Just beat FaZe once again. This was a rematch from winners bracket. FaZe was going for back-to-back championships, and once again they are going to be knocked out of the tournament. My goodness.
Every other, man.
100T.
Every other for FaZe.
Kenneth and Parallax, a fill-in for this tournament, came in, and now they're in the grand finals to play off against King Richard, Aimbot Calvin.
Jeez.
This has been it's been a long tournament, but a great one indeed. We have seen so many great runs. Final score 34-32, 100
GGs.
going to grand finals, boys. What do you got to